How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Crafting Cars. Happy Tuesday. Now in today's video, we're going to be replacing the rear main seal on this 1994 Acura Legend. Now in our last Legend video, we removed the transmission from the car, and that's a pretty big job. If you want to see how to do that, I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description down below. But once you get that transmission out, on top of the rear main seal, there's a whole bunch of other seals that you can replace now. So I got all those right here, all Honda OEM. I recommend you do the same unless you want to do the job twice. Now, on top of having the seals, you want to have the right tools for the job. So, got myself a classic seal puller here. I've got some Honda Urea high temp grease. And I also got some Honda Bond RTV. Let's get underneath the car and make sure this thing doesn't have any more leaks for the next 30 years of its life. Now, to get out a rear main seal, we got to remove this drive plate here. I got this 1/2-inch extension shoved in there to keep it from spinning as we loosen up these bolts. Dang it. Broke the adapter? Why are these so tight? So this is obviously not an ideal situation, but I know a couple tricks that might help. Apply some heat. You can try to knock it loose with a chisel. If that doesn't work, what you could do is you see this original 17mm socket and see this one? This one's gonna have much more teeth engagement. I ground off a little bit of the lip on it. You could try going forward and then reverse on the impact. All right. Here we go, guys. Come on. Yeah. Whew. That's what I'm talking about. So now that that's over with, we can remove these 10mm bolts. Then these 4 12mm bolts on the bottom. That's 4. There we go. Then we got this O-ring up top here. We're going to be replacing that as well. When you guys pull your plate off, try to pull it off straighter than I did. I ended up putting a little crack in my plate here. I ended up gluing that back together, so we're going to be all right. It's just around the alignment pin. There we go. We'll give that inside surface a good cleaning. Pull out our new rear main seal. Put a little bit of soap on the edge of it to help it slide into place. If you can find something around the same size, sometimes that helps press it in. They have a little lip on the inside of this plate, and you'll know you have the seal pressed all the way in when the gap between the seal and the lip completely disappears. Now I'm going to use a carbide scraper to carefully remove all this schmutz built up on the edge. And I'll use a plastic razor blade to scrape off any of the old O-ring material in this groove here. We'll clean up this surface here too, where it mates up to the oil pan. So on these C-Series Legend engines, the rear main seal actually rarely leaks. What usually leaks is these O-rings here. Now you can see on this old O-ring, they use a little bit of RTV to hold it in place during installation, and we're gonna do the same exact thing. And that'll just kind of act as a glue to hold it in place. After you clean this plate, you're going to want to do the same exact thing to the engine block side. Now you want to make sure you don't drop anything into the oil pan. There will be a small gap. I just like to shove a little towel in there as I clean off the mating surface, and you should be good to go. Now we're going to apply a thin layer of this Honda Bond RTV to the outside edge of this plate. Then we'll get the bottom as well. I'm going to put a little bit of this Honda high temp grease around the crank snout here. There we go. Throw our 10 mils back in, and all these 10 millimeters get torqued down to 9 foot-pounds. We'll throw these 12 millimeter bolts in, and these get torqued to 16 foot-pounds. All right. Now for the automatic transmission input shaft seal, it's 91207 PY4004. Gonna want to slide the torque converter off. Might be a little messy. Let's tilt this thing up a little bit, keep it from spilling. There we go. Then for our new seal, you'll see that Honda already applied grease on the inside. To make it slide better into place, I'll put a little bit of soap on the outside. Nice and flush. Looks good. And it's pretty nasty inside this bell housing here, so we'll use some super clean to clean it up. And it looks like if I pull this little circlip off, might be able to clean this extension shaft even better. Once you get a good coating on there, you can go ahead, slide it back to the front. There we go. Now before we install the torque converter, we can go ahead and put some grease on the outside of this portion here. And then it kind of slides on in stages. A little farther. Ah. There we go. Now here's all the way in. Now the last seal we're gonna do is this differential seal right here. There we go. Now the differential seal is the reason I pulled my transmission, because mine was leaking really bad. I'll use a little bit of the high temp grease to slide this one in. I'm just kind of working my way around, pushing on all the high spots. There's a better angle for you guys. So once you get it pushed in all nice and even, you are done with the differential seal. So that completes the diff seal, the rear main seal O-ring, and the automatic transmission input shaft seal. Well, that's about it, guys. Time for me to put this transmission back in the car. If you wanted to take it one step further, you could put in the axle seals, but the transmission does not have to be out to replace these. So I'm gonna save it for when my axle seals actually start leaking, or maybe when I do the axles. But yeah, hope this video helped you guys out. I got a couple more things to do to the Legend. I'll probably put the transmission back in by myself just to save myself some time. But I do have some new injectors. So I'm gonna install brand new injectors because I think I got a couple sticky ones and a new fuel filter next. So stay tuned for that video. I know my Dodge Stealth has some issues right now, so maybe I'll fix that. It's got, I think, a slave cylinder or master cylinder issue. I got in the car the other day to move it out of the driveway and the clutch pedal went right to the floor. So see if I can get that on camera for you guys. And then I have another huge Acura project coming up in the future, so you're not gonna wanna miss it. Yeah, hopefully this video helped you guys out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.